Okay, before I start with the jet mode comparison, there was one big feature that I didn't show in my part 1 video, so I'm gonna show you what that looks like. So here it is. They give you the option to convert this into the Macross toy version with the face mask, which is really a cool design because this is a magnet, so you can just snap it on with a little click. And they give you the attachment for the gun, so it does replicate the Macross toy a little bit, even though it's not accurate because the gun was actually a part of one of the jetpacks. But it's close enough, and doesn't have the rest of the Macross detail, which is understandable. But what's interesting, the Hasbro War for Cybertron Jetfire, they do give you the full option to have that toy version look. And something else with this is that you can convert this into the Gerwalk mode. So that's a big difference and feature that you get with the Takara Tomy version. And that's not really fair to FansToys because you know, they weren't really going for that. I mean, again, you just have to appreciate the FansToys just spent so much more money on materials just to add all these details, which just makes it look more premium. But that's a big difference I forgot to mention. So you get to see what that looks like. It does look kind of cool, but since I'm all about Hypertune, obviously I'm not gonna keep it in this mode. So now let's move on to the jet mode. Okay, here's a look at both of them in their jet mode. And you could see both of these figures, they look really nice. But there are major differences between the two. Here, Takara Tomy, they designed theirs to look a lot like the cartoon. And they did a really nice job of capturing the cartoon aesthetics. Whereas FansToys is designed more to have a stylized look to the character design with all the accented details and modified shapes that alter the proportions so that it has more of a premium look or mature look to it, if that makes sense. Like you can see right there, I mean, this jet mode looks a lot sleeker than the Takara Tomy, which, you know, looks a lot like the cartoon. But other than that, there are other differences that I want to point out. So let's take a look at each one, starting off here with Takara Tomy first. And the first thing I want to mention is that the paint finish. I didn't mention that in my part 1 comparison, but thanks to Braxter Stockman, he did point out to me that I forgot to mention the paint finish. So if you can see, Takara did a really nice job painting this figure from head to toe, which gives it a really nice finished look to it. So that's one difference here, because FansToys, they did not paint the figure from head to toe. They did just paint a few areas, but that's about it. So there is one difference between the two, and it's not an excuse, but you know, I sort of overlooked that because this is a white figure, and for me it's kind of hard to tell the difference between the two. So yeah, that is not something I really noticed, but that is one difference. And another difference is right here, Takata added that gun that appeared in that first episode where he shot the ice before he crashed, landed. And you could see FansToys, they completely omitted it. So yeah, there's another difference there. And here you can see the way Takata Tomy designed theirs. You got like all these gaps and kibble and, you know, this big gap here that people don't like, which is all a consequence of the way they designed the transformation. So you just have to take that however you view it. Because for me, you know, it would be nice if it was flush right there. Especially this area right here, I don't like. You know, this is a transforming part, but it really should be nice and flush. But again, because of the way they designed the transformation, you got all that kibble and gappage showing. And FansToys, you can see they did a really nice job cleaning the figure, so you don't have a lot of gappage and parts being exposed, kibble and stuff. So yeah, there's another difference there between the two. And coming here to the canopy, they both open up, and here I can open it with one hand. You can see how Takata Tomy handled the interior, which is nicely sculpted, really nice. And they even sculpted the front, the control panel, if you could see, which is really nice. I think they did a really nice job sculpting it and painting it gray so you can appreciate all the nicely sculpted detail. And FansToys, theirs does open also, but they chrome plated theirs, so it's kind of hard to make out the interior, but I think they did that on purpose, because when you close this, it looks really nice. And I like the brighter colored blue, which is more cartoon accurate in my opinion, because here Takata, the darker blue, it's a little dark. Also the red jetpack is a little dark in my opinion, but that's just a nitpicking aesthetic thing. But you see here, FansToys, the brighter blue and brighter red is actually more accurate to the cartoon in terms of the color palette. So that's just a difference that I see between the color. And let's see, coming down here to the landing wheels, you can see Takata did a really nice job of sculpting it and painting it that gunmetal gray. But you know, like I always said, it doesn't matter how pretty you make these things look, it's more important how well they function. And I can tell you that Takata did not do a good job in executing the function of these wheels, because you know, unless you're really careful, just like that, these wheels will collapse, and the same thing will happen with the rear wheels also. But as I said, that the front collapses. So they did a nice job making it look nice, but poor execution on their design. Whereas FansToys, first of all, you know, it doesn't look as nice as Takata, but they did a better job. First, this is die cast, and if you see the angle, they did better job of designing it so it doesn't collapse like Takata. So there's another difference, which has more to do with the function of the figure and the way they designed it. So I think Takata did a better job on the wheels, but Takata made their wheels look a lot nicer. And then, let's see, Takata does have all these extra features, such as these cabins, I think that's what they call them, where they actually open up so you can integrate them with those mini figures to have some playability to it. So let me see if I can open this one up to show you with let me put this down and move this up here so you can see. Well, first of all, look at that. That's a window that they put in, which was cool, and it did appear in the cartoon, so I think that was a nice touch, which is just adding more to the cartoon accuracy. But more importantly, this cabin, if I can get this to open, which is always a little bit difficult for some reason. Yeah, I can't get my nail in there, but you can open it up and you can see the Optimus Prime's in there, which is a really nice playable feature, but you can see how nicely sculpted the detail is in there with the nice gray finish in there. So that's something you don't get with FansToys, but I don't think that's a fair comparison because this is just something extra Takata is doing. And right here, it's another cabin that does open up, so you can replicate that scene where Jazz was coming out. Here's the Jazz, and you could see his hands are not painted gray like his shoulders. But yeah, you can put him in there if you want, and then he comes climbing up and crawling up to the front of the plane. So that's another cool feature that you get with Takata. And the back, the other side, you also get another cabin where it does open up. And I think this one is more for that scene where Wheeljack came out with that cure for the mind control thing that he's holding. So you can kind of replicate that scene, having him yeah, with that thing. So that's kind of cool. And there is one other area where you do have this playable feature, which is on the bottom. So let me move this here so we can get a closer look here. You come down here and you, let's see, just bring this down, and you have this actually appeared in many episodes where this piece opened up. And it's actually not flush because my surface here is not really straight, but this is cool. So you can actually have figures look like they're coming out. So here's Brawn from the that came with X-Transbot's Perceptor. So this is cool because I like that scene where, you know, he was coming out and Skyfire transformed and he fell. So that was kind of funny, but that's kind of cool. So those are some extra features that you get with Takata Tomy. And unfortunately, you don't get any of that with FansToys. However, someone on Facebook, and I apologize for not knowing his name, I did see he post some pictures where you can sort of make it look like it has that ramp. Look at that, looks really cool. It's all the same thing. You can make it look like Braun's coming out and he transforms causing him to fall. So yeah, I mean, you can sort of get something like that with FansToys. But for the most part, you don't really get all those playable features with FansToys, but those are some extra features you get with Takata Tomy. And let's come here to the back. So nothing really special with the back, just very cartoon accurate with the pointed feet. And this jet piece, it actually should be a little bit wider here to have more of a triangle shape, but yeah, they didn't do that, so not really a big deal there, but just pointing that out. And like I said, the way they designed the transformation, you got these like kibble pieces showing, which I really don't like. I mean, that part bothers me more than the gappage that you see here that other people complain about, or this kibble showing here, or this gap here that doesn't make it flush. So FansToys, again, I think they did a better job of cleaning all that up so it looks really nice. And another feature that you get, or accessory that comes with Takata that's really nice, are these blast effects or flame effects, which are really cool. Something that they've been doing with their figures, like with Smokescreen, with those smokes things, Blue Streak and the Seekers. You know, these are actually really nice because they add more to the figure. So just pointing that out, that's really cool. And FansToys, unfortunately, yeah, you don't get anything like that. I mean, this is an older figure, so yeah, they didn't incorporate those things yet. So there's another difference. And now, something I want to go over is the this display stand that you get, because there are some issues with it. So first of all, Takata Tomy gives you a nice display stand. It's in this orange, nicely detailed, but there are issues. Like, one, this thing doesn't secure when you put it down, and the screws here are very loose, so you know, it easily topbles over. Even though you can tighten it, it doesn't really tighten all that well, and you really shouldn't have to tighten it. They just didn't execute this design very well. And this adapter piece, this is another issue. So if you can see, it has two prongs here that go into the jet, but it's really thin and it's transparent plastic, so I don't think they executed that really well. And I'll point out the difference with FansToys. FansToys, first of all, you don't get this display stand, which was, I think, a bad decision on their part. They just gave you this adapter where you have to unscrew it to put this adapter piece on. But here you can see these two prongs. Come on, focus. They did a better job of executing this, because if you see, there's another plastic perpendicular to it, which is like this T shape that helps strengthen those prongs, so it works much better. And also they contoured this so it fits in much better. So now let me just put these on so you can see how well they work or don't work. So like I said, with FansToys, I mean Takata Tomy, this is yeah, you have to be really careful. First, you have to be aware of that, and as I said, that there's the issue right there. This just easily comes doesn't lock, so that's like an issue. So you have to be very careful when you're putting it on. But once you do get it on, it does kind of hold, but you have to be very careful with it. But I did notice that with the gun, when you add this to the stand, it does strengthen this. So just showing you, I'm just going to put this in using these slider pieces. Can't really see what I'm doing here, but it does, it's kind of hard to see, and it is a little bit hard getting it in there, but once you get this in there, it does strengthen that adapter piece. So now it seems a little bit more sturdier, but you still have that same issue where this might start turning and this is gonna come unloose, and even the front part, the swivel, it might just, you know, go to the left or the right. So again, they did not execute this design very well, but as long as you're aware of it and you're very careful when moving it, I mean, it works. So now with FansToys, like I was telling you, they did a much better job with this adapter piece. They gave you that T shape to strengthen these tabs that go in. So let me see if I can put this in and show you. So you just, and it, like I was telling you, it has that contour shape. So this fits in better, and it feels a little bit more sturdier. But you know, this is also the same thing. You have to be a little bit gentle with this so you don't knock it over and stuff. But that's the display stand, and you can see the differences. I mean, this one's kind of, in terms of design, this one's kind of plain, and you could see Takata tried to make this look a little bit nicer with the orange and all that sculpted detail. So there's a difference with the display stand. And so now let's just carefully move these together so we can get a better look at both of these from the front view, and just get another look. These, again, both of these figures, they look really nice. There's just the difference between the two. One's more cartoon accurate, which is the Takata Tomy version, and one's more stylized. You know, so there is no winner here. It's just what your preference is, which one you like more. So this is really all subjective. I prefer the cartoon aesthetics, but because FansToys put in all this detail, I really like this one also, especially like the jet mode. I mean, just look at this. I mean, that looks much sleeker. It's longer, looks more like a jet. And this one, when you just look at this as a jet, it doesn't look as good as FansToys, but this one looks good in terms of, you know, the cartoon accuracy. So again, I mean, this is just hard to really say which one's better, because there is no one's better than the other. It's all really subjective based on your preference. So that's it. That's a look at my comparison between the two, and I just want to finish by saying both of these figures are really nice. But there is another extra feature that comes with Takata Tomy, and that's the Gerwalk mode. So I will do a separate video for that. I actually posted one already, but took it down, and so I'm just going to add to it and then repost it so you can see, because The Gerwalk mode is what makes getting the Takata version all worth it, in my opinion. So here's just one last look between the two. I like the bright colors on FansToys, the blue windows and the reds, more cartoon accurate. So yeah, let me do this so I can just show you, because I took screenshots of the cartoon image, and yeah, you can see that FansToys, I mean, the color looks a lot like the cartoon, but Takata told me, like I said, this one just seems a little dark. I don't know why they went with that color palette, but that's enough rambling. And that's my final comparison between the two. There is no winner. It's just really based on what your preference is. Do you like the cartoon design, or do you like this stylized version with all these accented details? For me, I actually like both. I prefer the cartoon aesthetics, but I do appreciate the all the detail and design by FansToys. So that's my final comparison between the two.
I'm too darn big to sneak around like this.